Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here, and today we have a Pokemon Sword and Shield moveset video guide on how to use Spectrier, or Spectrier. It is the new ghost horse that we have with the Crown Tundra, and of course if you guys want to check out other moveset video guides or Showdown lives of me featuring this Pokemon, or even Wi-Fi battles which are coming very soon, feel free to subscribe. I'm on my way to 252,000 subscribers, which is awesome, and I can get there with your help. Now this Pokemon is awesome because it has a really great ability called Neigh that gives you a +1 special attack boost every single time you knock out a Pokemon. So think of it as a special Moxie or just a beast boost for its special attack in a sense. But it's really strong, and I honestly think that this is the reason why it doesn't have a good move pool, much like a lot of Pokemon that came out in the Crown Tundra. They decided that, hey, this mon would be too powerful if we gave it Aura Sphere or if we gave it Earth Power as coverage or anything like that. So they decided to really just kind of throw away its complete coverage. But it's still very much usable in my opinion, and let's talk about why. So with that base 130 speed and base 145 special attack, not only is it fast, but it hits incredibly hard. Base 100 HP with base 80 special defense is actually really decent bulk, and even with base 60 defense, it can still eat up multiple hits if needed, just because of that high base HP, like multiple weaker hits if needed, like resisted and whatnot, obviously. So I think the best set, or at least one of the strongest initial sets, is Choice Specs. Now, I'm just gonna say real quick, you can run Choice Scarf on this Pokemon, but I'm going to explain why I think Dragapult's better in a second. But Choice Specs is really cool because you basically have a nuke with base 145 special attack. Shadow Ball is your strongest move and your best move on this Pokemon, period. For the most part, just initially, because you can just spam it, and there's only normal types that are immune to it. Like even dark types don't appreciate taking Shadow Ball. The only one that actually appreciates taking Shadow Ball is probably Tyranitar, just because of the Sandstorm special defense boost, and that's maybe one of the best answers to it. Now we do have Hex plus Will-O-Wisp on a Choice Spec set as well. Dragapult also frequently ran something like this or Thunder Wave if it wanted to on a Hex set. But the idea is, if you Will-O-Wisp something like Tyranitar coming in, then that is like one check gone, and later you can just spam Hex. But I really like Hex, and if you pair this with Pokemon like Toxapex or anything that can just set up Toxic Spike, it really allows Hex to be 130 base power, which becomes your strongest move. It's way stronger than Shadow Ball at that point, and it is a nuke. Now, the last move we have on Choice Spec set is Mudshot. They did not give this Pokemon Aura Sphere, they didn't give it Earth Power, they gave it a really shallow move pool just because Ghost is very strong as an offensive typing. But the reason we have Mudshot on the Choice Spec set is it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO on special defensive Heat Red, which is something that Spec Shadow Ball cannot do. It does not 2-hit KO unless it gets a Spit Up Drop and Stealth Rock are up. So Mudshot's your way of guaranteed 2-hit KOing that. It also is a 3-hit KO on Choice Band Tyranitar after Stealth Rock. And if Stealth Rock and Spike are up, you do 2-hit KO with Specs Mudshot too. So it gives you an option of yelling with one of your best answers in the tier, or two of your best answers in the tier. And the only other option is like Dark Pulse, and Dark Pulse would only hit normal types like Blissey and Chansey, which you wouldn't be doing too much damage on with the Spec set anyway. For the most part, Shadow Ball is just stronger in the tier. Now again, you can use Choice Scarf as well. This is just the Choice set. I think Specs is better. But the reason I would say use Dragapult over that is because Dragapult is faster, has access to U-Turn, has a move pool, has Infiltrator so it can hit Pokemon with Sub, has Clear Body so it doesn't worry about Sticky Web or anything like that. And because it's incredibly fast, it's faster than like Pokemon in Rain as well, like Kingdra under Rain with Swift Swim. So I think that Pokemon's a lot better because U-Turn for Momentum actually has a move pool, can use Shadow Ball, can use Draco Meteor, can use Fire Blast, and I think it's a lot better at that. However, the plus that Spectrier has is that you get a special attack boost every single time you knock out a Pokemon. So there is pros and cons to that. I do think Specs is better than Choice Scarf. My bad, I just smacked his desk. And yeah, let's go on to the next set. So this Pokemon is really cool because it also has access to Nasty Plot. Now, with Nasty Plot plus Will-O-Wisp and Hex, you can become a devastating sweeper. You run leftovers for the longevity, but substitute Nasty Plot, Will-O-Wisp, and Hex. This is cool because of your base 80 special defense and base 100 HP, you tank Scalds from Toxapex. So Toxapex will not be able to break your sub in one Scald, and because you have Will-O-Wisp as well, if you manage to land it, it actually takes 2 knockoffs for Toxapex to break your sub as well if you land the Will-O-Wisp, and on top of that, you're boosting your Hex's power. So in a scenario that Toxapex comes out and you've Nasty Planet up, they're typically going to go for Haze, but if you burn them, your Hex is 130 base power, not including stab, and you'll still be able to 2-hit KO them without the Nasty Plot with these. I mean, if you're +2 and they're burnt, you're gonna knock them out Hex regardless, but this can make you end up with a sub, and this is cool to avoid status. It also can avoid, like I said, Thunder Wave and stuff, status from like Blissey, Chansey, and whatnot, though they can stall you out in this set. So you technically could run Dark Pulse if you wanted to over Nasty Plot as well. That's just an option, but I think Will-O-Wisp plus Hex is really good because you deal with your counters, right? They're gonna go out into a Pokemon like Tyranitar to break your sub, but you've burnt them, so that helps out a different partner, or that helps this Pokemon potentially win later. So it's really good for Spectrier, and I think it's his best offensive option. I just think you do want max speed and max special attack. I think you always want to be able to. The good thing about max speed is it forces Dragapult to run Timid Nature because you're faster than Adamant Nature. And max special attack just gives you the highest damage output with your Hex, which I think is very important, especially on a Nasty Plot set. Now, we do have another variant of a Nasty Plot set, and the aim of this one is to still kind of be able to avoid status and whatnot, but in the form of Taunt, which also stops setup. It stops recovery moves like Soft Boiled, Recover, Roost, and it also stops like setup in terms of hazards like Stealth Rock, Spikes, and whatnot. So we have Spell Tag as the item to boost your Shadow Ball to pretty huge levels, and it's Nasty Plot, Shadow Ball, Mud Shot, and Taunt. Now the reason we have Mud Shot is because I mentioned Special Defensive Heat Ran earlier. At +2, you knock the thing out with Mud Shot. So it's awesome. And if Toxapex comes in, you just taunt it. Like, you can taunt it, or you can go for +2 Shadow Ball. I mean, if you've knocked out Heat Ran and you're +3 special attack at that point, you're knocking out Toxapex, which usually run more physically defensive. Though they're going back and forth depending, because Blaziken tier, but you also want to be able to deal with Spectrier and like Aegis Slash and whatnot, so they go back and forth. But this is just a more offensive variant of the Nasty Plot one that relies on Taunt instead of the sub to deal with status, and it's pretty cool because you just taunt Blissey and you just set up the +6 on it. And while Mud Shot doesn't do too much at +6, if you were sub Calm Mind, which we'll talk about in the next set, they could actually stall you out potentially. The fact that with Taunt they can't recover and you just Nasty Plot and do damage is awesome. Also, this lets you deal with, like I said, Heat Ran, and it gives you a strong move versus Tyranitar, and which you should still rely on hazards and whatnot to wear down Tyranitar in that case. So, and Spell Tag just boosts your Shadow Ball. Last but not least, we have a Substitute Calm Mind set, and this takes advantage of its high HP stat and its ability to, like I said, set up on Pokemon like Chansey and Blissey. If a Chansey or Blissey comes out on you, yes, they can resist the, or they're immune to the Shadow Ball. Resist, immune, similar, but you know. But with Substitute and Calm Mind, after a +1, this is why you run max HP. After +1, Zapdos cannot break your Substitute with 1 discharge. The max it can do is 24%. It takes 25% to break a Substitute. So with max HP and after Calm Mind, Zapdos cannot break your sub, which is really, really nice considering Zapdos is very, very good. I'm talking about regular Zapdos, by the way, obviously with discharge. I'm not talking about the other Zapdos that can easily Brave Bird and break your sub. But sub allows you to, of course, avoid status. Calm Mind is going to be boosting your special attack and your special defense. And then you have Dark Pulse. And Dark Pulse at +6 can be a 3-hit KO on Blissey, allowing you to beat it 1v1 with that combination of that plus flinches. Now, if you had Mud Shot, you wouldn't be doing it. But with the combination of flinches plus the damage it does and taking into account crits, you can definitely beat Blissey. And then, of course, we have Shadow Ball on that. A more reliable stab than Hex. If you are using this with status, you can slash Hex on this Pokemon if you want over Shadow Ball on this particular set. But I think that Timid, for the most part, is always going to be best on a Pokemon that's a really hard hitter, but also wants the speed to outspeed like important Pokemon like Cinderace if they don't have Sucker Punch, and Pokemon around that, like Modest, Dragapult, and anything really around there. So really, really, really cool Pokemon. You're also faster than like a +1 Adamant Dragonite. So that's important. That's like an important speed tier. In terms of other moves it has in its move pool, I don't think Agility is really useful. It does have Disable, so you could run something like Sub Disable, but I think that Dragapult does that better, again, because of its better coverage. And in terms of special attacks that it has that are not Dark Pulse and Mud Shot, I think there's Hyper Beam. Yep, there's Hyper Beam. Like, you're not going to use that. And Uproar. I don't think Uproar is very strong either, in my opinion. And Snarl as well over Dark Pulse. But overall, I think you do want Dark Pulse, and yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys. So I'll hopefully be doing the other horse soon, and I'll be doing all the Calorexes, so base form as well as the rider forms. Thank you for watching. If you guys did enjoy, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.